Hey guys, Tim here. Today we're going to do a quick review of Banished and maybe a little gameplay. So, I came across this game on Steam and I like SimCity, so I thought I'd give it a try and I've really been enjoying it. So let's go ahead and start a new map. Large, fair, medium, sure. So this game is, like I said, a lot like SimCity. Ooh, we're starting off in winter, that's not good. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it. The idea here is you're starting a little community. It's kind of like a cross between like Age of Empires and SimCity and The Sims and a million other things. It's really cool. I actually really enjoy it. So let's lay down some roads real quick and then I'll go through kind of the different things that you have to do to get started, and we'll get things going here. So to kick off, usually on the medium settings, you have a few things you need to do. One is you need all these awesome little people to have houses. So you can either build houses to start, or what I like to do, even though it's a little more work, is do a boarding house. So the one thing the boarding house gives you, even though it's a lot more construction value, is that it's going to be able to be used for anybody. If you, like, say, upgrade your houses to stone, they can stay in the boarding house and it'll be enough to support your entire population off the get-go. And then you can build some houses as you need them. So now that we got that down, the biggest thing you need to worry about is food in the get-go. So you can do crops, orchards, pastures, which I still haven't quite figured out, animals yet, I'll be honest, fish, hunting, which also gives you leather. So does if you have the pasture and you have cows, obviously, or gathering. So let's go ahead and throw down a crop field. And I like to make sure that you're doing them at least 15 by 15. So it seems to be if you make them the max size, then they tend to be the best bang for the buck, so to speak. And I tend to like to put two of them right next to each other. Whoops, except see there's a hill over there, so that's maybe not where I want to put one. So I don't think I'm going to be able to get over here either. So what I'll probably do is come down to here, and I think that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which I know is how big a house is. And I can do 15 by 15 down there. I have some room for a couple houses here, or whatever I want, a school, whatever. So let's go ahead and get these guys started, and we'll go through some of the other stuff, maybe speed them up a little bit. So the first thing, obviously, you have to worry about after construction is what are your people doing? So down here, you can increase the priority, but you can also assign people what you want them to do. So let's go ahead and put all 10 people in the building. And the different roles are builder, farmer, herdsman, gatherer, fisherman, hunter, woodcutter, forester, herbalist, blacksmith, brewer, tailor, vendor, trader, miner, stonecutter, teacher, physician, and cleric. That's a mouthful. So you can also change the priority, the priority things. Like say I wanted them to build the fields first, which I actually do. So you want to change the priority, and let's grab the fields, because when winter's over, I really want to make sure that they're ready to plant the fields. And then we'll get them started on some gathering. So for gathering, you can do clear everything, just clear trees, just clear stone, or just clear iron. In the beginning, you just kind of want to go after everything, and I just tend to go like hog wild and clear off a big swath. The other thing you're going to need right away is a well, which I don't know, I'm going to put it right here because there's room. You need it to put out fires and such. And let's grab. So you got a barn. That's where you're going to keep perishables. Stockpiles is where you keep goods like iron and stone. We need a woodcutter. let's see if I can fit this in here. I don't think so. We want it somewhere near the stockpile just because it makes it so much easier. And you need that for firewood. Basically, is all he's good for. The other thing we're going to need to worry about is blacksmith. Let's see. Put him... And what the hell? Right there. So, here's the field. Let's go ahead and grab it. I can do squash or corn. I can make alcohol with corn, so we'll do more. We'll get to that later. Now, the question mark is because I need to assign people to the field. So we're going to take 4 people off of the builder, and we're going to put them on the farm. Now, one thing to remember with the boarding house is I don't think they'll have children in the boarding house, so we do need to build some houses, but I want to get them started and settled, and then we'll start building some houses once we're starting to collect food, and you really don't want to waste resources early if you don't have to. It'll really catch up to you in the end. So, there's basic stuff. You have a wooden house, you have a stone house. The stone house has better, more efficiently burns fuel. You have a dirt road, a stone road, which I would really not recommend that unless you have a lot of open pits going and a lot of people. You have a wooden bridge and a tunnel. And here's the little icons that come up. It is my reserves of stone are low. Duh. Anyways. Oh, here we go. That one's ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and do squash over here just for a little variety. And then, of course, we need to... somewhere here. I usually leave this up. 4, and I really will stress that other than getting this built, you really need to get the farms going. So let's go ahead and speed her up here. So you notice they're running over and getting stuff and then running back. Put all the logs there, and then if we're out of stone, let's see how much stone we got. You notice they're going down and grabbing it and coming back. This is a good break for some Mike's Hard Smashed Apple Cider, made from Washington apples, don't you know? Really sweet, especially compared to the stuff I've been making. Really sweet. Like, might have a hangover tomorrow sweet, unfortunately. And that's funny me saying that, because I really do like sweet ciders, but I think I've been corrupted by the semi-dry, which is very lightly sweet. It's a nice flavor. So you notice we got stuff growing here, and you can see it's at like a 49% yield. This guy is at a 43% yield. When they hit 100, they'll start picking the crop. But if you watch the seasons, if you don't start the harvest early enough, you may lose crop. So it just depends. I tend to harvest one early just so I can make sure that I get the majority of the crop harvested, and then these guys will start running around doing other things too. So. Here we are, we finally have enough stone, and sooner or later here, oh yeah, here's the, we have corn and potato. You start out with some food and some iron tools, all that jazz. Stone and iron are by far the 2 hardest commodities. And as you spread out, it becomes harder and harder if you don't get a pit going. At the same time, it's hard just from the fact that your population doesn't necessarily grow as fast as you want to build. The one thing I will say is this game, I almost feel like rewards taking it slow. So make sure you're doing enough to sustain your people and making their health good. But at the same time, don't commit yourself. There we go. So everybody has a place. Let me see how many more. There's spots there are there. So that'll do us pretty well for quite a while. So they're going to finish because I picked the clearing before. We're going to go grab this and tell them to get their little butts over there. Do that. Because I know we're going to need a woodcutter. Pretty funky woodcutter. So notice the guy with the little question mark. He's going to be the woodcutter. Why do you need that? Because this requires fire. Surprise, surprise. So see, he's taking logs from the stockpile, he's chopping them and then putting them back in the stockpile. And of course over here, you need to, the blacksmith, so you need to build iron tools. Okay, so now we have 2 free people, and the resources are doing pretty well because in the winter time, any farmers will go mine. Now here's one thing to remember, if you have them going a long ways, say they were, gathering from way up here. The thing you need to remember is when the seasons change and they're needed back at the farm, they're going to be way up there and they have to walk all the way back down. Now, the downside to that is, you guessed it, they don't plant quick enough, so you lose some of your crops. You got to watch out for that. So now that we have this, you can see there's some deer. The deer really like nice open spaces. And I'm gonna build this way, I think, maybe, but I don't quite know yet. I'm gonna go right across this wood. Build up here and build this way. Yeah, I don't know. I might come down. Yeah, I'll probably come down into here. Build. And this is storage is getting full. So we need another storage. I'm just gonna put them right over here next to the old guy there. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take a break, play a little bit off camera because until I get a little more people and a little bit further along, it's not very exciting. We'll come back and I'll show you some more stuff. Be right back. You'll notice that I built a little hunting cabin. So you can see the little deer running around every once in a while. This will make it so that I can get venison and leather. I'm building a barn here so that they don't have to go very far once they collect it. And of course, there's a little storage area stockpile here. So I kind of want all those things. And to be honest with you, I'll probably throw a house down here too. Just because, I don't know. Maybe I'm not going to build any houses. For the first time, I'm going to try not building any houses for a while. See what happens. Because this has a lot of room inside there. So at least they're nice and warm and cozy for now. Of course, they all are in there because somewhere there's a tornado. Somewhere in the mountains, there's a tornado. I hear a tornado. I don't see it. Oh, okay. Back to work, you slackers. No tornado time for you. So I built another field. Now I'm going to start building some of my commodity stuff. So we definitely want to get a school going because the school makes it so that workers are more efficient. We definitely want to get a hospital going for obvious reasons. And then at some point we'll get the town hall going, but that's quite a few resources. So I tend to not really want to worry about that right now. You do want to keep an eye on your barns, especially when you harvest. We will probably need another barn here. So grab that. One quick tip, I would play the tutorials. issue. Seems weird because I want to use that for something else. Bit of everything walked not as far. Decisions. There we go. That's a silly place for it. And this one fills in. One of these games are so they will keep working on those. Of course, this part down here will be worked on. And as you grow, you can build a church, a tavern. These are all things that help with happiness of the community and help you grow. You just need to keep an eye. You do have people die from time to time. Unfortunately, but it is, a remotely realistic game. Awesome if your peasants live forever. One thing I might think about is something like this building a graveyard. As morbid as that seems, I just don't care. They seem to not care. Yes, stuff's full. This means one of the barns is going to be full. The other thing you need to watch out for are the limits. So they will stop harvesting. So with 3 barns, I'm comfortable with the 30,000. And we're out of iron. That's what that means. And this means that he's produced 1,000 fuel, which I bumped that up already off camera. So no big deal. You notice the barn's 80% full and the other 2 barns aren't finished yet, so that's why the alarm was going off. So we have 1 hunter. See, we just had 4 laborers created, so they are having kids in we call it the House of Love. Anyways, we need a couple more hunters. And there's and one of them there's. So they're just like cranking away. Like I said, you want to be careful how much you decide for them to farm. Just from the sheer fact that you don't really want them too far from home all the time. So actually I have to start working on some clothes here, but I'm going to let the leather build up at least 50 before I start that. Here we go to planting season. Go. Work my little minions. Notice that we're on that barn there. So that barn's done. Nice, 200 venison already down here. And their nice little hunting cabin. And my nice little stockpile. So what I do down here is I tend to have them clear it out. Just because then you can see the deer a little better. Not that it actually matters, but the deer do seem to kind of there seems to be more of them in open areas. So I tend to just kind of around my hunting cabin just kind of clear out a swath and the trees will grow back, but that'll get the rocks and stuff out of there. So that's pretty much it, guys. I don't want to go for 3 hours on this. I want you to play it too. Pick it up. It's up on Steam. It's a great price. I've put 9 or 10 hours into it already, just kind of playing around. And it's really interesting. The decisions you make early definitely affect the later game. So it definitely has. You can play for a few hours and be like, oh man, I need to do that different when it started. The rest of this game's gonna suck. So there's definitely replayability. And check it out. It's up on Steam. Again, that's Banished. This is Tim for Timmy Tech TV. We'll see you guys.